Alright, what's up guys? So I got a video request from Impel Lopel. Wants me to talk about how home ownership is beyond the joke due to ridiculous surging prices and probably stuck renting. Yeah, home ownership is like very expensive. It seems like property taxes are going up like crazy in a lot of places. And then like people have like mortgages that are unaffordable for people, and like a lot of people seem to not be able to get like a fixed rate where like the payments stay still, like it doesn't go up in interest. Like they seem like they get like an adjustable rate. You know, I mean, a fixed rate and an adjustable rate has its pros and cons, but besides that, like, it's still going up. And like back in the day, you can work like a regular job and you can just buy a house pretty much with like a warehouse job, for example. Now you work a warehouse job, you gotta have like roommates or something, or you gotta live with your parents, you know? It's crazy out there. Like, I know the houses, like where I'm at, like my dad told me that 20 years ago, they were like from like 150K to 300K at the most. Now it's like risen up to like 400K to like $1 million. And that's making the younger generations have a hard time buying these homes, you know? And I guess I blame like these like big corporations that are buying these homes, and they're like making it harder for people to afford like a single household, you know? Like these corporations are the biggest problem, you know? They keep buying up all these homes and they're taking away from working class people pretty much. And then I guess like people are discouraged that the housing prices are going up, and like there's new construction going around. There's new houses being built. There's new apartments being built, right? And that's gonna surge the prices also everywhere, you know? And it's not even just that, it's like the pandemic really made things more expensive, and then like all the other things on top of that. Groceries are expensive, vehicles are expensive, trying to further your education is expensive, like going to college or even going to a trade school, you know? And a lot of these jobs don't seem to like compensate to live, you know? Like I know there's people that are out there that don't know how to budget their money. There's a lot of people that like buy things they don't need and they do it to themselves, you know? But that's not everybody, right? There's people out there that budget their money right. There's people that are trying to save, and when they do all that, it's still high. You still can't even like afford a house, you know? And then like what you're saying, you're like stuck renting, or you're living with your parents or something. Even rent's so high, like you can't even afford like a studio with a regular job, or like a 1-bedroom, or even like a 2-bedroom, you know? Now you need like 2 incomes to basically keep afloat, renting or like owning a house, like a homeowner, you know? It's crazy out there. People say, just move, go move somewhere. Like, yeah, that's I agree with that, but that's not easy for everyone. That's easier said than done. You don't even know their circumstance. Not everyone's capable of like just moving somewhere, depending on like what kind of job skills they have, or maybe they have like a disability or mental illness makes it more difficult to save and move, you know? It's not easy for everybody, that shit. Yeah, it's just, yeah, like there's certain places that are more expensive than others, right? But it's just, it seems like everywhere is pretty high, you know? And people say, learn a skill, go out there and get a job that pays more so you can afford these things. And That's easier said than done. Not everyone can do everything. Not everyone's capable of doing these type of jobs. Maybe it's these genetics that like hinder their life to the point where they can't overcome these obstacles and challenges, you know? Yeah, I mean, there's people that have these genetics that they can overcome, but there's a lot of them that can't, you know, or just bad luck or something, you know? But yeah, I guess I'm rambling with this one. But yeah, the housing's expensive, you know? Like if you own a home, you gotta literally repair the house. That could be a lot. You need to make sure like you maintain the yard, cut the grass, all that. And if you live in like a community or something, right, where they make you pay HOA fees, that's even worse too, you know? You live in that, they can just charge you like off the ass for no reason, even though you take care of the place. And then on top of that, the house is expensive, you know? That's what sucks about having HOA fees and stuff. Man, just to repair the house is expensive because the cost of buying the tools, cost of like just repairing the place, you know, if it's run down, right? Then like if you don't have the connections to repair your house too, like say if you have a family member that's good with shit or like a friend, then it's even more expensive. You gotta have to hire a plumber or something, or you gotta hire like say like a HVAC technician, or you gotta hire like a roofer to fix your roof or something, or like a landscaper, you know? Right? Yeah, I mean, I guess there's certain things you could do on your own, but there's certain stuff that it's difficult to do, you know? It's good to learn on your own, but not everyone can do that. Yeah, home ownership's going up, and I blame the corporations. I blame like the filthy rich that are taking these homes from working class people, pretty much. And then like these politicians like spending their money on stuff that doesn't make sense. It's too much government spending, and they just don't use their spending to help the people. It seems to, you know, like kind of like that, basically. Like they could be making houses affordable for people, but nope, it don't seem that way. And yeah, people will be stuck renting. Renting will always go up, you know, and it's just terrible. Be a lot harder for people to own a home nowadays. Most people that buy a house that I know of had help from their family. They get like some inheritance, you know? I guess they work a job, they save their own money while living rent-free with their parents, and their parents help them out, like pay a down payment on a mortgage or something, you know? Right? Yeah, home ownership doesn't seem affordable anymore for a lot of people. And yeah, not everyone needs to own a home. I guess some people are content with renting, but there's a lot of people renting that can't even afford rent, you know? It seems like you have to have roommates, or you have to have a really good paying job, you know? It's something else. Yeah, and then there's people that live with their parents, they can't get along, and then they gotta resort to renting and with like random roommates if they can't find people that they could room with that they know. And that just makes things worse, right? It just sucks when home ownership's high and you have a home. Like, it's just everything else is high, like gas and all that stuff I talked about. Like your car, your groceries. It's like you don't have enough time to save, like put money towards retirement or do something fun, you know? It's crazy. Like, you basically need to, and then I guess like the dating market too kind of makes it difficult because seem like more people are single now, and it seems like you need to have a person with you to like afford shit, right? It's crazy. And who knows when the housing market's gonna crash? It looks like it's gonna keep going up, and I guess there's like boomers like don't even want to sell their house because the housing market's going up and they're making more money, you know? People are gonna increase the house by renovating it, you know? Makes sense, I guess, if you want to make money there. And the thing is, like, real estate, you can make money, you know? That's what they say. Like, if you own real estate, you could do a lot with it. Home ownership, or you can rent it out to people, or like, you could basically make good passive income too. And that's like kind of making the younger generations not be able to do that, right? It's kind of a really bad situation, basically. And then there's people that, like, the cost of living so high, like, people can't even afford rent. They can't live with their parents, or they're homeless. They're sleeping in their car, like me or something. Or they're out on the street, even worse, right? Then they gotta resort to like government assistance, you know, like food stamps, like if you can get disability or something, you know. And that's another one. It's hard to even get Section 8 housing for people that need it, that aren't capable of working, because the system is broken, because of normies like are faking their disability, their mental illness, and they're fucking like this. They're fucking it up basically, and then the politicians are making this worse, you know, and then like the elite, basically, making it difficult for people to get Section 8 housing for their disability, you know? It's something else. Yeah, the housing market's getting worse, man. It seems like. Like, hopefully it gets better. Hopefully it can go down and people, I guess, can buy a house if they want to, you know? Well, I'll catch you guys later.